Before this video starts, I'm going to give you some context. Now, FluffalYGO here is making a video on someone named Yugi Nono, aka Yu-Gi-Oh! Jesus. I'd say that's enough context. Let's get into the video.
So am I still waiting for this world to stop hating? Can't find a good reason, can't find hope to believe in.
Let's go! Spoon!
Be doing just monsters, spells and traps aren't saving. And I found 5 that are just as bad, if not worse than the previous countdown. But real quick, if you guys want to support the channel for more skits, more deck profiles, more openings, more countdowns, more of just everything that I do, the link to the Patreon is down in the description. But let's go ahead and jump into this countdown of horrible Yu-Gi-Oh cards. At the number 5 spot, I have Yado
Monster Cardo!
No, but seriously though, the card is Yado. It is a level 4 water aqua monster. It has 900 attack and 1700 defense. And this card's effect reads, when this card is changed from defense position to attack position, you can place any number of cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck in any order that you desire. But you don't get to draw anything after that. That's the effect. You just put cards on the bottom of your deck, which is just terrible. You're literally taking away cards from yourself. And not only that, you're playing a monster with horrible, horrible stats. The only good thing I can think of when it comes to this monster is that it's a level 4 water, so you can go into Bahamut, Shark, and Toad. But with Link Summoning just around the corner, that's not even going to be viable. So that being said, with Link Summoning coming up, that makes this card even more useless, if that was even possible. And let's just say you live in some bizarre universe where putting cards on the bottom of your deck is actually advantageous. Even in this bizarre theoretical universe, if you wanted to change this card's battle position on the turn that it's summoned, you would have to use cards from your hand, which just uses up so many resources. You could be playing so many better cards. So for this card's effect to go off, you not only neg from the cards that you have to play to even get it off in the first place, but then when it goes off, you put cards on the bottom of your deck, never to be seen again. This card is just absolutely terrible, you guys, and that is why it's number 5 on this countdown.
Okay, I can admit, Yado is not that good of a card. But, here's the thing. There are some strategies you can use that are pretty good. For example, if your opponent activates Mind Crush, you can activate No Entry and put that card that they call on the bottom of your deck. Therefore, they don't get the Mind Crush off. And also, if you draw into something like a Garnet for your Brilliant Fusion, you can just put that back into the deck. Also, and this one is for Link Summoning, if you have a Tin Goldfish, this card becomes a really easy Mastar Boy. I mean, sure, that's more of a card being used for what it is rather than what it does, but it's still something that you can do with it.
He said these cards are bad, not useless. Every card has a couple uses. He never once said that it's useless. He just said it's bad. So all of your examples here can't shine considering it's not top 5 useless cards.
And at the number 4 spot on this countdown, we have Cold Feet. Cold Feet is a quick play spell card, which usually those are pretty good, right? Well, not in this case, like, not at all, not whatsoever. Because this card states that you cannot activate, set, or use the effects of spell or trap cards this turn. Not your opponent, you. This card is not only a neg 1, but it severely handicaps you. Like, why would you want to handicap yourself? Dungeon traps are for noobs anyways. And people are gonna say, well, you combo this with Mystical Ref Panel or whatever. But that's still a 2-card combo, guys. Like, that is not consistent whatsoever. Now, I'm not gonna trash talk Mystical Ref Panel because it can be a pretty cheeky and techie card. And if you did want to be a troll, you could combine it with several other cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! But is it realistic? Will it win you a tournament, a locals, like a regionals or YCS or anything? No, it will not. Not at all. Yu-Gi-Oh! Players have more of a chance of getting a girlfriend than they do topping an event with Mystical Ref Panel trolling. So Cold Feet inhibits your ability to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And is a neg 1. Don't play this card, ever. There's no reason why you should ever play this card.
No, you're forgetting the fact that there are cards like Brain Research Lab and Mass Hypnosis that have negative effects. So if you already have an established board, you could just activate this to avoid those negative effects.
No, it wouldn't avoid the negative effects of cards such as that because it doesn't say that their effects are negated, it just says that they cannot be activated.
Next up we have Boar Soldier, which, besides the effect, is actually not too bad. It is a level 4 Earth Beast Warrior with 2000 attack. That sounds pretty good, right? Because you can search this with Tinky, and it gets to 2100 attack. That's not absolutely terrible. But its effect is just so horrible that it makes this card one of the worst Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards of all time. Its effect reads, when this card is normal summoned, destroy this card. It blows itself up when you normal summon it. So therefore you have to special summon this card or flip summon this card, but it has another effect that makes it even worse. It says if your opponent controls 1 or more monsters, so if they even have just 1 monster on their side of the field, decrease the attack of this card by 1000 points. So it brings it down to a mere 1000 attack. That is just horrible, you guys. Literally the best thing about this card is, like I mentioned earlier, it can be searched by Tinky because it's a Beast Warrior. That's like the only good thing about this card. The only other light that I see in this card is possibly taking advantage of its effect that blows itself up when it's normal summoned somehow. Like for example, you can use this card's suicide effects to combo with Supply Squad. I activate Supply Squad, and then I summon Boar Soldier, and then it destroys itself and I draw 1 card. Your turn!
I know this archetype isn't popular, but Mech Lords. This card can bring out any of the Mech Lord Emperors extremely easy. Not to mention that this card is searchable, and it can bring out a Mech Lord Emperor, which is crazy to suck up like a Crystal Winger, any Synchro monster, which is, if you're playing in a locals against some kid who's playing a lot of Synchros, maybe you could play Mech Lords. You never know. Also, you say, oh, if they control any monsters, it lose 1,000 attack. Yeah, because cards like Regeki, Dark Hole, and simply destroying their other monsters and reviving this card with Call of the Haunted and attacking for 2,000. Nope, that can't do that. Can't. It's impossible. Sorry.
Again, he said they're bad, not useless. You're associating them both into the same group. They are honestly very different.
Now, since that's pretty much the only point left in the video until it goes on to final thoughts, I'll go on to my final thoughts. I think the main problem with this video is how you associated good and useless to be the same word. In fact, they're not. They're very different.
Another problem with this video is that I noticed the same pictures again and again and again. Seriously, please get more pictures than the amount you're using currently.